Here are 14 of the best AI agent tools on GitHub right now. Onlook lets you edit a React app like a design tool, then use AI chat to make real code changes without bouncing between mockups in the IDE. What makes it stand out is the operator surface. You can point at live UI, tweak styles visually, ask for edits in plain English, and even draw in new divs, or rearrange layout directly on the canvas. It's still under development, but that canvas plus chat loop feels like the whole bet. Agent of Empires is a terminal control room for running coding agents side by side without turning your machine into tab soup. It uses tmux sessions and Git work trees, so Claude Code, Codex CLI, Gemini CLI, and the rest each get their own workspace, which matters because you can compare approaches or keep one agent fixing bugs while another prototypes. The sticky part is persistence. Close the UI, reconnect later, and those long-running sessions are still there. Refly turns agent behavior into reusable skills you can define once and run across tools like Claude Code, Cursor, and Codex. The workflow here is the draw. Instead of babysitting a giant prompt, you build a skill around a vibe-style flow, then keep execution intervenable so a human can steer when the agent drifts. That makes the skills feel closer to versioned infrastructure you can ship into bots, APIs, or internal tools without rewriting the whole stack each time. GDevelop lets you build and ship 2D, 3D, and multiplayer games without writing much code, using an event system that reads more like game logic than programming syntax. What makes it fit, this AI agent roundup, is that the editor can assist or generate alongside you, so the workflow is closer to directing a game than hand authoring every behavior. That matters when you still need exports across web, desktop, and mobile from the same project. Superset is a desktop editor for running multiple coding agents on one codebase without turning your repo into chaos. The workflow seems built around local Git work trees, so each Claude Code or Codex session can branch off in parallel while you keep one operator view for terminals, layouts, and shortcuts. That's the part I like here. It's not just chat tabs, it's coordination for CLI agents that already fit your machine and shell. Serena turns an LLM into a coding agent that can search a real code base semantically and make targeted edits instead of blindly grepping files. What stands out is the operator surface. It can run as an MCP server, plug into editors, and lean on language servers, so the model gets symbol-level understanding of code, not just raw text. That makes the workflow feel more like guided refactoring, with retrieval and edits grounded in project structure and supported languages. vibesdk lets you spin up your own AI web app builder, so instead of using someone else's coding agent, you're running the platform yourself. The part that stands out is the operator surface. It's not just chat, it includes deploy flow, programmatic access, and the Cloudflare pieces you'd wire together for auth, storage, and runtime. That makes it feel aimed at teams who want to customize the agent and own the API keys, not just prompt against a black box. ccpm gives an AI agent a project manager's workflow. Turn an idea into a spec, break it into GitHub issues, then hand those issues to separate agents working in parallel. The part that stands out is the operator surface feels very grounded in tools teams already use, and Git work trees keep those parallel branches from stepping on each other. It's notably strict about avoiding loose prompt and pray coding, with issues and specs acting like the guardrails. Claude-squad lets you run multiple coding agents in parallel from one terminal, with each task isolated in its own workspace so they don't step on each other. The workflow is the draw. You can kick off background jobs, let some run in auto-accept mode, then review the diffs before anything lands. What makes it stand out in this agent batch is the operator surface. You're coordinating Claude, Codex, Gemini, or Aider, like a little dispatch console. Oh-my-Claude turns Claude Code into a team-style coding setup where multiple agents can work in parallel without making you learn a whole new control scheme. The hook is team mode. You kick off one command, it spins up workers, and the coordination layer handles the busy work so the operator mostly stays focused on the task itself. What makes it stand out is that those workers can also be other CLI models through tmux, so Claude can delegate across Codex and Gemini sessions. And Cherry Studio is a desktop workspace for talking to a bunch of top language models in one place, then handing work off to built-in agents and specialist assistants. What makes it stand out is the operator surface. It looks less like a single chatbot and more like a control room with model switching, prompt tools, and a huge assistant library that changes how you route tasks. The trade-off is that the breadth looks useful, but probably only if you want one hub for everything. Context 7 gives AI code editors fresh documentation right inside a prompt, so the model stops guessing from stale examples. The workflow is pretty direct. Install the MCP server, point the agent at a library ID and even a specific version. Then you can add rules so it pulls the docs you actually mean. That makes it feel more like a reliability layer for coding agents than a chatbot trick, especially once you get into the available MCP tools. Gemini-Voyager turns Google Gemini and AI Studio into something closer to a real workbench, with timeline scrubbing, folders, saved prompts, and chat export layered right into the UI. What stands out is how operator-focused it feels. Instead of adding one flashy agent trick, it fixes the boring parts that slow repeated prompting down so you can revisit branches, keep reusable instructions nearby, and move conversations out when they're worth keeping. Stagewise gives you a browser where the coding agent can work directly on a live web app instead of guessing from files alone. That changes the workflow a lot. You can point at the actual UI, let it inspect what's on screen, then patch the app while staying in the same operator surface. In this roundup, that tight loop feels distinct because the agent is grounded in the running product, not just your editor in a prompt box. Subscribe to Build Things with AI for more GitHub AI tool roundups.